Okay, let's see. So now that I've had my rage moment and some time to cool down, let's give that another go.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Yep, so the finale of the DLC, right?
Yep.
Just had to defeat this giant bear, right?
Oh, can I not? I can't skip this.
The
Cool.
new unit that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy.
We can't
Well,
let it stop us.
this time I'm awake, which helps.
Because we were playing, what, at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. last
4.
time?
It killed me at like 4 something. It was bad. And then like this whole week I've just been kind of tired because I've been over recording everything. But now. Shell, I'm not actually streaming. So
Oh,
why?
you're not streaming?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
I was fairly explicit about that, and it's too late now, I guess. Really, whenever we're playing Divinity, no one listens to anyone. Before or after. Oh! Ow!
Your song is here.
Unfortunately, there's the bear, and he is focused on me, and all of my companions are garbage in combat. They can't even kill a couple of watchers.
Ouch.
You really just can't roll away from this guy, can you?
It's just one of those enemies where you attempt to dodge them and it just,
doesn't happen, yeah.
You have to probably premeditate your dodges.
No. Oh.
Oh, stab him.
There we go. Well, I've already done more damage to him. Let's just hope he doesn't boot me off the, out of the world.
Stay in the middle of the arena then. Sometimes I had to do that in, various action games when I realized that they could...
Sometimes not always the most doable. If you notice, he's leaving those spots.
Whoa.
Yeah. By being near the edge. I think I'm hitting him. Unfortunately, I don't actually know if these explode. Yes, they do.
Are these the mines?
Yeah, so he's just leaving, like, actual lava all over
Hit him in the
place.
butt. Or wherever.
Yeah,
he seems to have some kind of node on his rear end.
Yeah, it's a heat vent.
Huh. Whoa, that was a good dodge.
Yep. Okay. I'm so glad I bought spares of everything.
Whoa, no.
It's part of the reason why I don't like this guy. He's got a lot of, like, big sweeping attacks and things that just...
Oh, now is he picking up the stone? Oh,
yeah,
he
well,
dropped
he
it.
was picking up the slab. Now he's trying again.
Oh, no, he's gonna hurl it. The whole between the legs thing is...
Kinda works,
Yeah.
kinda doesn't work. Well, I've already done half his health and damage, so that's a good sign. His armor is tough. I think I could have gotten a better slingshot at some point, and I kind of wish I had. Remain stunned, ignore me, ignore me, ignore me. I'm not here, don't worry about me.
One strike closer to death.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, is there another one?
There will be another one. I think
Okay.
there are 3 in total.
Alright.
Oh.
Stab
Nope.
him.
Yep. 1, 2. Nope.
I wonder, have they actually worked out mechanical muscles for
Yes.
objects?
Yes. They're not very good yet, but they do. There was... Oh, what was it? I was actually watching a really cool set of GIFs about effectively a modular kind of body. It wasn't really good, but they had like an actual heart, lungs, and a couple other things. So,
Modular bodies, for some reason, reminds me of Metabots.
well, it was creepier. It was like fleshy.
Yeah.
But it had like kind of like a little grabber claw that could give it locomotion. It was gross.
I've got other.
It was
It
really
makes me-
gross looking.
Wonder what, when humans actually succeed in creating androids, what they will look like. Because you have the very humanoid ones, you have the very mechanical ones, you have the oddly robotic and not even human in shape ones, and then, you know what I mean?
Never stop.
Yeah. They're probably just gonna be kind of ugly and horrible looking.
Die!
At least initially. I mean, have you...
The thing is, it's one thing to have those little toys that you take home that are really cute. What do they call them? The, like, robo... I had, like, the techno puppies, but there were a lot of other, like, techno-human, techno...
I think at first, people, it's going to be form over function. It's kind of like the original Cars.
Watch them.
Like, they weren't really that pretty at all.
Mm-hmm.
They were
You
just...
mean function over form.
Yeah, sorry. Like, chances are most, I am just destroying this guy compared to last time. I guess I should have gone
I
for
suppose
another
it also
round.
depends on what they want to create robots for.
Yeah, like, my assumption is most of the basic robots that we're going to get that are quote-unquote sentient are probably going to be, primarily...
Service? Like, would they be... Remember in Blade Runner... Or not Blade Runner, Total Recall, the old one. They had the taxi driver, where it was literally just the top half of a man.
No.
And the funny thing was, we would have self-driving cars
Yeah,
without
so-
a human dummy at all.
Yeah, we wouldn't need a dummy at all. It would just be, you call the car, it shows up. You probably swipe your credit card.
Because the funny thing with the Total Recall is, I don't know if the top half, it was driving, or if the car drove itself, but it just had a dummy to feign, like, some kind of human interaction. It's weird, now that I think about it. I mean, I suppose checkout kiosks and other things, people just do it themselves. You don't really need robots to mechanically...
Yeah. You don't need any kind of analog pseudo-creature to do that stuff for you. Taxi driver, those aren't going to be needed. Truck drivers, drivers in general, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Replace that stuff with just automated machines. Like, robots would be things that you need, like, actual dexterity for. You know, maybe like assembly line things.
But assembly line things they already do, and they don't even need bodies for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they just are on a conveyor and they zoop zoop.
I don't know. I'm actually not really sure how much we're going to need sentient machines for, period.
Yeah. Unless it's for military application, which would be terrifying, and I don't know if anyone would allow it.
Yeah. I think that would be a little harder to work with. Anyway.
Critical threat detected. Autonomous defenses inoperative.
Aloy!
Loading our network.
Araya! Don't!
Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Artok. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
Okay, he's running.
Rumble, run stumbling, rumbling.
Runs.
Yeah, I said rumbling first, and then I'm like, wait, what 2 words did I try and combo together? Run, stumble, rumble.
One of those?
It's the only way!
Come on. Hold on tight.
Yeah, I would have gone for the side and tried to, like, climb on top or something.
But yeah, because then you would have had footholds too. But I don't know.
Also would have been protected from stuff like that.
Yep. Oh no, they're being dropped. Where can they go? There?
Get me up top, Aratak! Now!
There we go. Is she gonna do her lasso or hook?
I need explosive ammo! A bomb! Quick!
Oh.
Great Banukai.
How did they get out that one little crack?
The things are like repulsors to keep the...
I know, but... How did...
magic.
Rhea is gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
I'm actually crying. What? What are you laughing about?
You are such
Look
a
at these
bleeding heart.
Look at these tears.
All I see is your giant nose.
Hey.
Like what? Ah, now you have tear water all over my head.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Tear water.
Ugh. All right. Oh, good. We just have a bonfire right up here. They could have just given us an option. It's like, would you like to fast travel there? And the answer is yes.
You still haven't collected all the animals.
I'm
have
not
you?
going to. It's not worth my time. Like, it's funny, but it's not worth my time. I'm sure that there are YouTube clips of people that are already way more dedicated than I am to that sort of thing. There's no sense in going out of my way to do a thing that I don't really care to do just for the people that could easily Google something. I don't know. Like, it feels kind of cold-hearted, but, like, ultimately it's...
Oh, shush.
I'm just here for the plot. I don't care about collectibles in these games. Like, the only game that made me care about collectibles was Breath of the Wild. Because they actually gave me, like, a very distinct, tangible benefit.
The collectibles in Metroid Prime were essential if you wanted to get the
Well, that's a
extra minutes of cutscenes, though.
Yeah, that's like getting 100% on Final Fantasy X2, just so you can get, just so you can see Titus hug Yuna at the very end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Otherwise, you just maybe hear a whistle or something, which is not exactly what I'd call,
Wait, so does she turn around and she starts smiling, like, maybe he's there?
Yeah,
but then...
or she looks sad and he's not there. I don't remember. It's been years. But I had to play through that game like 3 or 4 times, and I was at 99.6%, and I still didn't get the good ending. Screw that.
All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Talk to Aratak and talk to Cyan. Why is Cyan objective number 2? And, nah. We'll talk to him on the way out.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly,
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Maria said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes, I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobek's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life. She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work. They all got free, out into the world.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus back under its control. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants, I feel substantial anxiety, Aloy.
You and me both, Cyan.
Do you notice that when she's upset, she changes yellow?
Yes.
What are metal flowers?
I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar.
Huh.
But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy. Something must have made these machines, and the presence of foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change of pace. But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system is through its programmer. In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you do?
She said I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances.
I wonder if it's, like, was it Apollo or whatever? The one that got destroyed? Mysteries for
But
another
Demeter
expansion.
is like flowers and stuff, but I don't know.
They only had, I want to say 7 main AIs. I don't know if they had smaller ones too.
Oh.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Araya, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Araya who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of Farrow Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
A benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the
scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
She's talking about the band.
So 2 people have listened to them now.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
So, what about AIs?
No, we've already done
we already
AIs.
Did that? Okay.
We
We did the what was it like, right?
Yeah, no, we haven't done what was
Oh,
it like.
okay.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be.
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point, a concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So, there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while, at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
I think they should learn more.
I like
about
the
what
idea of
world
take
is.
it gently.
Okay.
Life is hard for the Banuk. Their world is unforgiving in their beliefs. I guess they help to keep them going. So take it easy on them. Try to guide them, bring them around to understanding what you are.
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism of the Banuk. I think they will be agreeable to this approach.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such an experience would be intensely uncomfortable.
You're right about that. Trust me.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing.
Cyan, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, Cyan. I don't think so. There might not be anyone, at least not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't want to be alone.
I know, Cyan. I'm afraid too. But listen, we made you the way you are to do something very important. In order to do it, you had to be intelligent. So intelligent that emotional responses were inevitable. What you're feeling, the fear, it's a sign of your capabilities. And it means you're strong enough to overcome it. Remember that. You're strong. I know you can do this. Go to sleep, wake up, and protect whoever's left. Will you try?
I understand, Dr. Chow, and I'll carry out your instructions to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Cyan. If Anita were here, she'd thank you too. She'd be proud.
I can see there's a vert ready for takeoff on the pad. Are you leaving now, Dr. Chow?
Yes. I need to go be with my sister and my nieces.
May I make a small request of you, Dr. Chow?
Yes. Anything.
Will you stay with me while I initiate the hibernation process?
Of course I will, Cyan. As long as you need.
Is this when they realized the world was going to end?
Yeah, he knew things were going bad. Oh.
Kenny and I don't need to fight about the laundry, so
Oh,
instead
no.
we fight about incommensurable.
We've already listened to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last up is our attack. And then I think we're done.
That was pretty insightful. I like Cyan.
Oh yeah, no,
hope
the
that-
characters in this game are really well
They also
made.
seem to be setting this up for you needing to discover other programs and trying to bring them back into the main
Feels like if I
fold.
blink, my eyes will freeze shut.
It makes sense. I mean, now that she has Cyan, you'd almost think you could come back with like information and stuff, like start actually not just rebuilding, well, actually rebuilding society, because like right now everything's tribal culture because nobody has any information on how the old world worked. You know, was it Apollo? Apollo was the one with knowledge, and that got deleted. Cyan has a lot. She knows a lot. So
She could be like a surrogate for that.
Yeah, surrogate
position.
Apollo and stuff. Like, I could almost see the next Horizon Zero Dawn game, the Banuk have like a technological revolution. It's probably not going to happen, but it would be kind of cool to have them start.
Not in a frozen climate.
Yeah, absolutely in a frozen climate.
I mean, I suppose when it comes to like the world,
Yeah.
a lot of people living in cold places had to innovate to keep themselves warm, which led to a lot of buildings and infrastructure and stuff.
Yep.
My chieftain,
Just Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
Yeah, you didn't let her down, I think.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If that's destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life. Truly, Araya found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You can stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.
Why are you jumping on top of that box repeatedly?
Because it's funny.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's annoying, especially during a conversation.
That, you know, doesn't need to be seen or anything like that. The subtitles are almost unreadable on all of the white anyway. Like, there's nothing I could do.
Still.
Let me have my fun, Shell. So we do have one more side quest, which is go fight some fire claws. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't think I will. It's just go kill 5 fire claws. Yeah, I think I'll pass.
Well, there might be like something with the Banuk being like, oh yeah, and everyone's
That's not convincing.
happy.
I mean, it's nice. Maybe I'll go back and do it for the next DLC if the next one comes out. I don't know if another one's coming out, actually.
Do you think they're
We'll
going to
see.
keep doing DLCs between games, or are they just building this up for the next game?
I could either see them doing one more DLC, but most likely they're building up for the next game. Because things to do would be reactivate Gaia, because I think they did have a means of doing that.
But once again, with our discussion from before, would they add on to this game or allow you to take your save file over, or
no? Chances are the only thing they'd let you do is if you owned the previous one, you might get like a weapon upgrade or like a special weapon or something.
There were no decisions that were meaningful that
Nope.
decided who lived and who died, right?
Nope, this is not BioWare. And I'm glad for it, because those always cheapen the game and put it into kind of a weird corner that nobody actually wants. Like, the idea of those things are cool, but the actual execution always leaves it wanting.
It minimizes characters that could be killed off, because then there's the potential you could
It's like, imagine if you could have accidentally killed Sylens over the course of this game and it would keep that decision. Suddenly Sylens becomes a nobody character. But yeah, so chances are next game, if there's another DLC, it'll probably just build on towards Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Or Horizon 1 Dawn. Or 2 Dawn? I don't know. But we might have one more DLC, or this might have been the last of it as a stopgap. Who knows?
Those markers keep changing position.
Yes. The compass in this game is actually good, unlike some of the other games I've been playing lately. Okay, let's do a manual save. And we will see you guys, okay, good. Didn't crash the game. We will see you guys next time. Whenever that's gonna be. Either the DLC or the sequel.
Mm-hmm.